That's the latest as far as Hong Kong is concerned. Meanwhile, Iran's Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif has recently confirmed that Iran has exceeded the enriched uranium stockpile limit according to the 2015 deal. Iran's stockpile of enriched low-grade uranium has exceeded the 300-kilogram limit that was set in the deal. The move is thought to be Tehran's first major breach of the accord since U.S. President Donald Trump withdrew from the agreement last year. The deal limited Iran's uranium enrichment in exchange for an easing of international sanctions. And our West Asia Bureau Chief, Daniele Pagani, now joins us live from Amman in Jordan for more on that story. Daniele, talk to us. You're literally seeing nothing change but a logical progression of a conflict.
Exactly, yes. We have to say that this news does not really come unexpected. We have been waiting these for days. Iran smartly waited the European leaders to talk about what was the possible way out of this impasse, I would say. But nothing happened, so they announced that they definitely reached the level of 300 kilograms of enriched uranium. What does this mean in terms of the nuclear deal? Well, this is the first time that openly and formally Tehran breaks the agreement. It has never happened before. We had announcement, we had intelligence coming from Israel and the United States saying that perhaps they knew that Iran was breaching the levels, but this is out in the open. Tehran did break the terms of the agreement, and now there is an entire motion that comes into being because this puts everything in back to square one. Well, maybe I should say back to square -1 because this will be the pre-2015 situation coming back into place, which means multilateral United Nations imposed sanctions on Iran, which no member of the United Nations Security Council could veto. And therefore, these would be like the total isolation for Iran, economically speaking. So it's a very, very hard move that Iran took.
Right, Daniele, stay with us because we are tracking another important story from the region, this time from Syria, where Syrian state media has said that 4 civilians were killed in Israeli airstrikes near capital Damascus. A Syrian state-run broadcaster said that the victims included an infant. It also reported that Syrian air defenses had brought down some of those missiles. An Israeli military spokeswoman, when asked about the report, said, "We don't comment on such reports." Syria continues to be wrecked by violence as President Bashar al-Assad's forces continue to pound the last rebel-held area of Idlib. Daniela, this situation is continuing, and Israel is only upping the ante at every given opportunity.
There are two dynamics in place currently in Syria. Dynamic number one is what is happening between Syria and Israel. I should actually say between Israel and the Iranian troops, Iranian militias, and Lebanese Hezbollah militias present in Syria, allied to President Bashar al-Assad. For years now, Israel has been bombing and striking positions belonging to those entities, warehouses, ammunition warehouses, military training, and also missile facilities. It's a sort of a parallel war. Israel has always been very clear. There is a red line which is very close to their border. Whoever crosses that red line, clearly from inside Syria, it's a target and an enemy, and has definitely stood its ground. The second dynamic is also what is happening, as you mentioned, in Idlib. Currently, the Syrian forces and all these other entities that I mentioned are attacking and upscaling the offensive against the last rebel-held area of Idlib. The problem is that Idlib, where, yes, there is an association of militias which was clearly tied to Al-Qaeda, is also home to almost 3 million civilians, and an all-out offensive will be a disaster for them. Also because humanitarian agencies had to majorly stop their operations because it has become too dangerous for their workers.
Our West Asia Bureau Chief Daniele Pagani joining us live from Amman in Jordan with the latest on West Asia. Thank you, Daniele, for being with us here on Wion Dispatch.